Calaroga Shark Media.
Man, I went to LA for the weekend, and so much happened while I was away. I have so much today that I'm bouncing major stuff to tomorrow. The Sebastian Maniscalco trailer has me out of my mind, but that's going to be tomorrow's leadoff story. I'll probably tape Tuesday and Wednesday back-to-back because I'm so fired up. Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your Daily Comedy News, but we got to talk about Nikki Glaser on Saturday Night Live. I don't want to lead you with my opinion, so I'll do a story or two, and then I'll tell you what I thought. But a headline from USA Today, I believe this was, comedian Nikki Glaser calls SNL debut a dream amid monologue backlash. That's right, there is monologue backlash. Nikki posted on social media, post to come when I fully wake up, but oh my God, I can't believe how amazing this cast and crew was. As a fan of the show, I just have to tell all the other fans that everyone at SNL is just as talented, elite, cool, and kind as you'd hoped it'd be. Literally everyone. It was a dream, all caps. I'll never get over it. Now, I'll start to play my cards. I'll flip one card. So I watched the monologue. I didn't have a problem with the monologue's content. I had the problem with the monologue being by rote. I was texting on the side with the host of the Letterman podcast, Mike Chisholm, and I said it just felt like she was doing jokes like, for example, Mike, who you may or may not know is Canadian. Mike went to the store. He was so polite. Take a beat. Because he's Canadian. And it just felt like that type of joke where you tell a story and then you do the beat and then you do the head fake. And I felt like she was just doing that. Her sketches, I thought, were fantastic. I'll come back to that. But as part of this monologue controversy, as I started to read this USA Today article, they were saying the things the monologue was about. And I was like, oh, I don't think I want to say that because they're the type of things that get flagged by content services. So maybe some do have a point here. Nikki opened up and, of course, told much better by Nikki. She opened up by saying, here I am in New York City, Epstein's original island. I may have actually told that better because when I watched it on the DVR after the 4 p.m. games on Sunday, I think she kind of swallowed the word Epstein and I missed the joke. I had to go back. So later in the monologue, she started talking about people being trafficked and the signs, quoting Nikki Glaser here. They're in every stall. They're in every language. I mean, English is really tiny. It's like you wish. Men's restrooms don't have these signs. I don't know what signs you have. Do you have signs that are like, want a slave? She then did make a joke about violent assault on women that I don't want to repeat. So you can factor that into your evaluation if you didn't see it, that it's a joke John's not comfortable repeating. She then went on to joke about how she's certain her boyfriend will murder me someday, and then did some material that was about showering with a younger person, which I probably shouldn't get into here either. So again, there may be some validity to the controversy, but when I watched the show, I wasn't like, oh, outrageous. So my take, whether or not there's a controversy about the content, I just didn't think it was a good monologue. I just didn't find it funny, but she was great at the sketches. Yahoo recapped the entire episode for me. Thank you. The opener with President Trump in the Oval Office as somebody passes out. James Austin Johnson, I loved him when he first started doing Trump on SNL. I'm now all the way to the point, maybe Lorne Michaels needs to consider someone else doing Trump. I know what a major move that would be, but James's Trump is just, he didn't have it this week. It's off mark. And I don't know if they had a bad crowd or what, but the crowd seemed to be with me that opening segment didn't fly. All right, then the monologue, already discussed. A pre-record with Nikki doing a commercial for a medication that makes you sick enough to credibly cancel your appearance on the Jennifer Hudson show. Nikki was very good in that. Then a sketch about family karaoke. Sarah Sherman crushing as always. Nikki showing she's got some acting chops in that one. Beauty and Mr. Beast. I thought that was pretty funny. American Girl Doll XL was solid. I'll circle back to the news for reasons which will become clear in a minute. And then on the news, Pete Davidson showed up. Pete Davidson said, in case you're wondering why I had to do a show in Saudi Arabia, we're losing millions on this ferry. I assume that's what the article says. I can't spend $5 on a paywall when I got a kid on the way. I'm just excited to be a dad and to give it all the energy and enthusiasm I never had for this show. Pete also got off a good line about Lorne Michaels, saying if Lorne Michaels has taught us anything, it's that you never, ever give up, even if everyone says the time has come and Tina Fey is ready to take over. Pete talked about the new mayor of New York City. If you're not from the New York City area, you might want to get yourself familiar with this Mamdani fellow. I think he's going to be a national figure for a few months here. Pete said, I have a message for everyone who did not vote for our new mayor. Hey, Staten Islanders, which is an on-point joke. If you look at the If you look at the voting results, let me pull it up for you. As you may know, New York City has 5 boroughs. Manhattan is what most outsiders would think New York City is. In Manhattan, Zohran Mamdani got 52.7% of the vote. Queens, where I'm from, but I did not vote as I'm now a New Jersey resident, he got 47.3%. The Bronx, 51.5%. Brooklyn, 56.8%. Staten Island, 22.7%, losing to Andrew Cuomo, who ran as an independent and got 55.4%. So hence Pete Davidson's joke. Pete said, did you promise to move out of New York if Mamdani won, but have too many warrants in New Jersey and not enough guns for Florida? Welcome to New Staten Island, and showed a picture of the ferry. We can't call it the Titanic anymore since the people on this ship will actually love running into ice. Good material there. I don't think he delivered it that well. I think the writing was better than Pete's performance. Pete told People, I had a great time hosting last time, and anytime you get that call, it's an honor and a privilege to return to SNL. It's always relevant. It's a hot show. People look forward to it, and the cast is great. He said of Lorne Michaels, I owe that guy my life. He jump-started everything, so I'd do anything for Lorne, and he knows that. So while I went to Los Angeles for 5 minutes, they decided to announce the Grammy nominees. Best Comedy Album. Quick time out here. If you are a longtime listener, you've heard this before. If you are relatively new, you may not have. Johnny Mac gets annoyed that things that Johnny Mac considers to be quote-unquote Netflix specials get nominated for Grammys. I personally feel that a comedy album should be, an album. Like Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA. That's an album. It's not a Netflix special. Some of these things, I'm not sure they're albums, but the Academy clearly disagrees with me. These nominations are horrible. This is just really bad, okay? The nominees for Best Comedy Album, Bill Burr for his worst special, Drop Dead Years. And you can see that going to Riyadh really affected Bill Burr's career. Ali Wong's Single Lady, not her best special. Nate Bargatze's Your Friend Nate Bargatze, not his best special, but okay. My former coworker, Jamie Foxx, What Had Happened Was. I felt like Jamie was just doing a performance, and I understand that all of these are a performance, but I really felt like Jamie was pulling out his Academy Award-winning chops to pull your emotional strings. It just didn't feel like a genuine performance to me. I felt like he was acting it out to get the crowd going. So the no doubt out of these five to me, Sarah Silverman's Postmortem, which I think I've pretty high up on my list. Yeah, I right now have Sarah at 7. My list, really quickly, if you want to count it as stand-up or not, the Conan O'Brien Mark Twain Award is far and away the best thing of the year. If you want to throw that out, Mark Maron's special, now that should have been nominated for a Grammy. It's Mark's best special. He's at peak Maron. I don't know how that's not nominated. Going down my list from there, Jim Jeffries, Justin Willman, Dusty Slay, Kreischer, Brett Goldstein's HBO special from April is really underrated. Michelle Wolf, Sarah Silverman, Mateo Lane, Tim Dillon. I don't get a vote, but I would vote for Sarah Silverman over. It's a no-brainer out of those five. While I left town for 5 minutes, Variety and the New York Comedy Festival announced that Jim Gaffigan will receive Variety's inaugural Comedy Vanguard Award that was going to be presented on Sunday night. I've not seen any post-mortem on Jim winning the award. There is, leading into that, a big, shiny, fluff piece wax job in Variety, but too busy today to get to that. Maybe tomorrow. The inaugural Vanguard Award recognizes Jim Gaffigan's trailblazing contributions to comedy and his remarkable career milestones. Timeout. Trailblazing? Is Jim Gaffigan one of the top comedians? Absolutely. Is he funny? More often than not. Trailblazing. Why? Based on what? What has Jim done that nobody has done before? Anyway. The award recognizes Jim Gaffigan's trailblazing contributions to comedy and his remarkable career milestones. Caroline Hirsch said, Jim Gaffigan has been making us laugh since the very beginning of his career, and I've had the pleasure of watching him grow into one of the most respected and beloved voices in comedy today. His originality, consistency, and sheer brilliance on stage make him the perfect recipient of this inaugural Comedy Vanguard Award. You know that Jon Stewart is at your event, Caroline, right? No one is more deserving, and Jim truly represents the spirit of innovation and excellence that this honor celebrates. There was a mystery with Jimmy Kimmel's show. Jimmy Kimmel's show did not air Thursday. Well, a rerun aired, but there was supposed to be a new episode. It was unexpectedly pulled just hours before airing, reportedly over, quote, a personal matter. So I don't want to make light of it. I don't know what the personal matter is. I hope everything's okay in the Kimmel household and friends and family and all that's good. But of course, a Jimmy Kimmel episode not airing is going to be major news. The scheduled guests included David Duchovny, Joe Keery from Stranger Things, and singer Madison Beer. It was Madison Beer who broke the news on social media at 6:33 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday as Johnny Mac was on a plane. Madison Beer tweeted, due to unforeseen circumstances, Jimmy Kimmel Live needed to reschedule my performance that was originally scheduled to air tonight to a later date. There's also a story going around that Jimmy Kimmel's wife, Molly, admitted she fired off many emails to Trump-supporting family members, begging them not to vote for Trump in last year's election, and has since cut ties with her right-wing relatives. This is not hearsay. She said this on the We Can Do Hard Things podcast. Molly said, I've spent many emails to my family, like right before the election, saying, I'm begging you. Here's the 10 reasons not to vote for this guy. Please don't. And he either got ignored by 90% of them or got truly insane responses from a few. It hurts me so much because of the personal relationships I now have, where my husband is out there fighting this man. It's me. Them voting for Trump is them not voting for my husband and me and our family. And unfortunately, I've kind of lost relationships with people in my family because of it. Molly said she was angry all the time at certain aunts, uncles, and cousins for helping to elect Trump, yet says she feels sympathy for them, calling them deliberately misinformed. On a related note, Oscar Isaac, you may know him from Star Wars movies. He did an interview with GQ. Would he return to Star Wars? Because, Star Wars is owned by ABC and Disney and the supporters of fascism, those guys. Well, Oscar Isaac said, I'd be open to it, although right now I'm not open to working with Disney. But if they can kind of figure it out, not succumb to fascism, that would be great. If that happens, then yeah, I'd be open to having a conversation about a galaxy far away or any number of other things. You see, Oscar Isaac is not one of those guys who'll be like, this chair's really comfortable. I've got a Roku in my hand. All I have to do is push the Hulu button and I can watch Scrubs. No, Oscar Isaac is not one of those people. He goes upstairs to the main level and then one more level to the DVD closet, and he pulls out the Scrubs DVDs, walks all the way back downstairs, fires up the PlayStation 5, puts in a disc, and then hits play. He doesn't just watch Hulu. No, he's not one of those people. Now, Johnny Mac, I have YouTube TV. Right now, we don't even get Disney Channel. So even if I wanted to support fascism, I can't watch their products. Nor can I support Jimmy Kimmel by watching, and that's a whole other thing. We don't get ESPN, we don't get ABC, but I'll tell you one thing, and listener Scott Beckett knows this. I don't need to watch Monday Night Football. You know why? My picks were so good this week, I wrapped up the whole week before Monday Night Football. Ha ha ha! Oh, speaking of football, the Carolina Panthers. They still are not sure about a penalty called on running back Rico Dowdle last weekend, so they asked Mac Packer Keegan-Michael Key. Yeah, Keegan-Michael Key was at a Panthers team meeting on Saturday to give the final determination on whether or not the questionable touchdown celebration should have resulted in a penalty. The Panthers head coach said, let's get an expert. Can we get Keegan-Michael Key to explain this to us? Via video, Keegan-Michael Key appeared. He said, I just want to say that I'm very honored that you would choose a Key and Peele sketch for your celebration. See, that's the whole thing here. The reason I'm here is I wanted to share with you guys, especially with you, Rico, is that I've done my recent research, and apparently, I guess the rules that are made up in a comedy sketch do not necessarily reflect the rules of the NFL. Dowdle's agent said they would appeal the fine. ESPN reports the fine is $14,491. Keegan-Michael Key did some math regarding the fine and said $14,000 for 2 pumps. That's $7,000 a pump. That means if you do 0 pumps, then it would cost you $0,000 and a fine. Keegan-Michael Key originally responded to the penalty last Monday. He had posted a video saying, Rico, you got robbed. You only did 2 pumps. I'm sorry, man. I'm going to have to write a new sketch. We are long today, and I didn't even rant about Sebastian Maniscalco's new trailer. That's tomorrow. New York Comedy Festival. Have they fixed the website? Let's find out. Well, it's scrolling well today. I wish I could just click on Tuesday and not have to scroll through shows that are in the past. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that information, but okay, I'll scroll. Still haven't seen any massive headliners. Later in the week is Skank Fest in New Orleans. I'll talk about that on Friday. Wait till you see the lineup for Skank Fest, and you'll see what I'm talking about, how New York, despite Jim Gaffigan winning the Vanguard Award, doesn't have the star power this year. Tell you what, today I'm going to read you everything. I won't get into specificity, but you'll see what I'm talking about here. All right, 7 o'clock, Cannon Fodder. 7 o'clock, Hilarious Habibis. 7 o'clock, Long Time No See Comedy. 7 o'clock, Our Findings. 7 o'clock, Todd Glass again. 7 o'clock, Pete Lee. 7 o'clock, The Woke West. 7 o'clock, Donnell Rawlings. So far, that's the biggest name today. Vanessa Gonzalez at 7. The Infinite Wrench hits the main stage at 7. Tamua headlining at 7, Gag and Squirt 7:30, Pretty Major 7:30, Teacher vs. Teacher with Sam Salem and Aaron Monte at 7:30, Good Showbiz at 7:30, Her Hysterical 7:30, Morgan J at 8. Is Morgan J the biggest name today or Donnell? See what I'm saying? Celebrity Drop-In at 8, Mama's Boy Comedy at 8, No, Not Like Other Girls at 8, Stamptown at 8, Staticat Comedy at 8, Chicas You Should Know at 8, Bianca Cristavo at 8:30, Wildcard Comedy at 8:30, Emma Willman at 9, Love in the Time of 5th Grade at 9, Kel Kripe Does Stand Up 9:15, No Ceilings Comedy 9:30, Science Tonight 9:30, Tina Frimmel 9:30, Baby at 9:30, The Yard Sale Girls at 9:30, Sauna Comedy 9:30, We Fix You 9:30, Jackie Fabulous 9:45, Live from the Algorithm with Julie DeCesare at 10 o'clock, Staticat Comedy 10 o'clock, Comics to Watch 10 o'clock, Shane Smith at 10:30. So I just read you, critical mass? Absolutely. But understand, this is New York City. So even though you do 40 shows, they can be quite undervisible, I'll call it. All right, the New York Comedy Festival presents Comics to Watch, the annual live stand-up showcase featuring the very best new comedians from around the country. One day you'll say you saw them here first. Rep showcases November 11th and 14th. I'm not familiar with these names, but they are Gray West, Nate Meeker, Tatiana Frank, Thash Mose, Rachel Williams, Ellen Harold, Matt Ross, Turner Sparks, David Drake, Jamal Russell, Leah Sampson, Josh Ocean Thomas. Good luck to the Comics to Watch repped. And let's get out there, because I'm going to hit save and immediately record Wednesday's show, because I got to get this Sebastian Maniscalco thing out of my system here. And how long do you want the show to be? It's long. You got a nice, healthy show today. Don't write me a letter. See you tomorrow.